I am barely alive as it stands as an Italian.
I've only ever
There's
called
no
it
way
making
that
the
I
hands.
make it the hands, baby. Hey,
You make the hands.
that's
then
what I'm doing.
Let's be best friends.
Hello, I'm Cole Sauer, and welcome to Let's Be Best Friends, a podcast where I talk to people that I barely know and try and convince them to be my new best friends, because in times like these, who needs enemies? Today on the show, we have a wonderful, lovely comedian who has a new album on the way, Mike Carrozza. How you doing
Hi,
today, buddy?
Cole.
Hey.
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm good. As always, I woke up about a half an hour before this, so,
Okay.
professional.
That's the quarantine life, baby. That's when the jobs aren't jobbing. You gotta sleep in a little bit, baby.
How are you? What are you feeling like today? Feeling good?
I'm okay. Just got a couple things to get done today, like nothing too crazy, and feeling all right. Like I just got a message reminding me to do something else right now, so I'm gonna write that down. But otherwise, like it's been okay. Just a lot of setting stuff up.
Yeah.
That's with the album coming out. It's been a lot of like, hey, do you want to do this thing? I would love to. And then you're like, okay, I have 3 things that day. Can I add this in?
Yeah.
And
where can I squeeze this in?
Yeah, so it's been like busy but nice, you know.
Yeah, busy in a good way, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's busy and there's oh boy, I don't want to even talk about busy in the bad way. I'm just lucky that I don't have to like see people in person, you know, because I'm like terrified of this friggin' virus thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's where I'm at. But yeah, man, like I'm here. I'm here to get nuts.
Here to get
Here
nuts.
to friggin'
get crazy. Yeah. So, the beginning of the show, we always start. Larry King used to always say there's 5 questions you have to answer in every single interview. And because I am a bad interviewer, I like getting it out of the way right on the jump. So, those questions are who, what, where, when, and why. So, we'll start with who. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Mike.
My name is Mike Carrozza. I'm a stand-up comic from Montreal, based in Toronto. I've been doing stand-up for quite some time now, and I have a new comedy album coming out September 4th called Cherubic on Blonde Medicine Records, and I'm very proud of it. I'm very excited about it, and that's me. I'm Mike Carrozza, funny, silly boy.
What a beautiful... I love how natural that plug just flowed. I can tell you're on the media tour, because you're just like, I'm Mike Carrozza, I'm from Montreal, I have a new comedy album September 4th.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the stuff that I know I have to get into, baby. That's what I gotta say.
So you started in Montreal. So was it comedy that made you move here, or were you
absolutely
already?
Yeah. 100%.
I feel like the Montreal scene is very like famous, right?
It is, in that Just for Laughs festival happens in Montreal, and that the French scene Montreal is like huge. It's like it's basically the French LA for comedy, or New York, whichever one you want to choose. But ultimately, no, Montreal scene in comedy in English is not the grandiose. It lives in the shadow of the Just for Laughs festival, right. And it's a real shame because there's some really funny people here.
Yeah. So can you were born? How long did you live in Montreal?
Oh, about 25, 26 years.
So do you still speak French, or like?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can't get that
family,
out of me.
Right?
No, I went to French high school.
Oh really?
My family is Anglophone.
Oh dang.
So, yeah, but no, we speak English at the house and learned French by being around French people who didn't speak English.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Some French people who were separatists and were insulted that I spoke English.
That must be rough, because I've been to Quebec, and I've never really gotten a lot of flack for being a filthy, disgusting Anglo like I am.
Which you should have.
Which I should have. It gave them too good a rap.
Yeah, I know. No, I mean, what it is like, there's there's something that I can't describe. Like some places they're like cool with it, and other places the moment you open your mouth and you speak English, you can feel their eye roll powering some sort of generator or something. Like there's such a disdain for English speakers here sometimes, and it's upsetting, but also like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Fight me, you know? Like
Fight me.
I grew up. This is my language that I learned growing up, and you're gonna hate me because you got a different one when you were growing up. Fight me, I'll fight you.
Yeah. It's funny, I've never thought of it like that. It's literally like two people just rolled the bones and one person's upset that you got different results. Like,
yeah, I mean, the other thing is, it's like not for anything. This is a country where they're two official languages, and I'm glad I speak both. But if you're gonna get mad at me for speaking one over the other because that's the one I learned first, then I'm just gonna be like, then what are you so upset about? You're me. You're picking. Like I just picked one. I can speak to you in French, but I'm also gonna be like, why is this the way you want to do things? Because you're not helping any cause. You're hurting it. And also the rest of Quebec ignores English. Montreal is like every language you can think of is everywhere here, you know?
yeah. Well,
So-
that's the other thing is that people, I feel like people don't think about the fact that Montreal is such a like tourist trap that every language exists there. It's like you said, it's
Every
you know,
language.
it's like basically the biggest. Is it bigger than Quebec City? I think it is, right?
Montreal? Yeah, it should be. I think so. Like I know population wise it is. Like it's gotta be.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think so.
So for what do you do? Obviously, you're a comic. You got a new album coming out September 4th with what was
That's
the
correct.
record label?
Blonde Medicine, baby.
I'm gonna remember that so we can keep plugging it. So what got you into comedy?
I always loved watching Just for Laughs galas on TV.
Mhm.
Like the Comedy Network was always on when I was a kid. So it was just nice to like spend a day, you know, I'd go outside or, you know, hang out with my family or come home from school, and then the channels we had, I'd be like, this is what I want to watch. And then I'd write down the names of comedians in my notebooks when I was like doing homework in front of the TV. So like somewhere in the attic, there's like old elementary school math notebooks with like Mike Birbiglia's name in them and Mitch Hedberg. And you're like, okay. So I was introduced to it very young. I used to like memorize street jokes my dad would tell me or like would find on the internet or I'd find in a joke book, and I'd tell them all the time. And then they asked me to tell a couple jokes at like the recorder concerts where we would like play the recorder in different grades. And so like in between each grade, they'd be like, hey, let's have somebody do something different during the turnover between grades. And that's when they were like, why don't you tell a couple jokes?
Why don't you be a funny guy?
Yeah. So I started doing that like every year. And then I ended up hosting every like major event until I graduated. And then I started hosting like talent shows in high school. And, you know, I always thought like I'd be a musician. I always thought that I'd play in bands and stuff, but I ended up like gravitating towards the fact that it's hard to organize 5 dudes who care more about the status than the art.
Yeah.
You know, like, so because nobody took it as serious as I wanted to, I ended up being like, well, I'm going to do this thing solo. And I ended up playing like acoustic concerts, but I ended up having more fun talking in between songs and joking around.
Doing the riffing
that
part.
I thought like, I'm going to try this out. It wasn't until like, I found this like torrent of like 4 terabytes or something crazy like that. It was nuts. It was so many comedy albums. And I listened to a bunch of them. And then when I was driving to and from school in like Cégep, which is in between high school and college here in Quebec, I listened to Doug Benson's Professional Humoridian like a bunch. And he just sounded like he was having so much fun. That I thought like I wanna give this a go. I wanna try this. Yeah, so I thought it was pretty sweet, and I thought, you know what, let me give this a go. Let me see how it goes, and haven't stopped since, baby.
the Mike train does not stop rolling.
Yeah, man, teenage Mike just being like, well, I guess I can't back out now.
I guess I'm stuck here.
Yeah.
So, where was your first show? Do you remember?
I do. Man, my first show was at a small bar called Mad Hatters in downtown Montreal, and it was a bar known for being a little bit sleazy.
Nice.
It was so basically what had happened is I had started getting a little bit more recognition as like a good, decent, like acoustic solo artist in Montreal, being
Okay.
like, hey, this guy's good and he brings people and he's a bit of a draw out here. And I'm like, okay, that was pretty cool. But then one guy was trying to book me and I was like, I'll tell you what, I'll do the show for like the amount of no money that you want to pay me.
Yeah.
But the week after, I need you to put on a comedy show, and I'm gonna do my first ever set on that. And that's how that's how this dude was like, yeah, okay, fine. So this
Yeah.
guy like put together a comedy show the next week or like a couple weeks after, and it was like, to give you Robbie Hoffman was on that show.
Okay. Holy shit.
Yeah, this was back in the day. This is like she was a year in or something. Yeah, so the thing is, it was like at Mad Hatter's. It was upstairs where the stripper pole is, and they planned the show, and the Canadians, the Montreal Canadiens, were in the playoffs, but
So no one
it was
gave
like
a
the last game. It was like game 7.
Yeah.
And they went into double overtime or something crazy like that. I can't remember the exact specifics, but they did go into double overtime in the playoffs. And it was like the first year in a long time that the Habs had a chance at anything. It was like the first time that they were doing so well. People were like, this might actually, maybe we can have a little hope.
Maybe we can be
like,
happy again.
Yeah, they deluded themselves into believing it. And then so the game was going, and the entire time I'm like, oh, you know, your first set can set the tone for your career.
Put all this pressure on yourself.
I'm freaking out. I forgot to eat, so I like passed out.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I'm freaking out. I have 2 friends there because I didn't want anybody else to know. So I just have 2 friends that came, and then I did it. And it was after the Canadians were knocked out of the playoffs, and people didn't expect there to be a show.
Oh, no.
And so people were just upset that it was happening. And the thing is, like, nobody's doing well.
Mhm.
And the host is somebody that I'm convinced went missing or is like living off the grid now.
Oh, Jesus.
And yeah, I know it's kind of wild. I haven't thought about him in a very long time. Yeah, so like that dude just like disdainful as ever to be there too. Eventually it gets to me to perform, and I go up and I do my act, and it gets like mild laughs, but to me it's like the biggest adrenaline rush I've ever felt.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, there's this really big lady at the back of the room, all the way in the back right corner. And it was like, it's this table that's slightly tucked away, so she's like leaning to watch, and she's having a heavy laugh at so much at what I'm saying, and I don't remember the bits altogether. But she's like laughing like a high pitch, like like that kind of laugh.
She's like carrying the room,
eyes closed and bobbing, and like she like leans to watch and then has to like recenters herself as she's laughing, and then leans again to keep watching. And it just like, that's all I remember about the show, and that's all I needed. So I haven't looked back. That's it.
That's how you get your adrenaline rush, is when you get that first like that where someone's just losing their minds laughing. You're just like,
yeah,
I got one. I got mine. I'm good.
This is the big one.
That's so funny. What a cavalcade of things to happen. Like you get this guy to book you a show, and then it's the Habs are in the
my way
are in the playoffs. Yeah, you bully your way essentially into the comedy show, and then the Habs are in the playoffs in this bar with the stripper pole. Oh God,
and it's all the perfect. And then after I got up, I was like, I'm never leaving this again.
The best part to me is that like it's such a like awful first show to have is after the local hockey team loses in the playoffs. Like I don't even think doing it now as a professional comedian with an album coming out, I don't even know if you could win that room over. Like,
oh, I mean, I could.
I could
probably
a Montreal room after the Habs losing.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta know what buttons to press, but as long as they know there's a show afterwards, or the people who really don't want to be there had a chance to leave, there's a
Yeah,
chance.
that's true.
They
That's fair.
stuck around. They want to laugh. You'll get them.
Yeah.
Let's go, big boy. You got this.
Are you a hockey guy at all, or is it just like a local team thing?
Not particularly. Not
Yeah.
even a local team thing. Like for a while, my team was the Vancouver Canucks because I was like, that logo is sick.
The logo is nasty. It's such a good logo.
Yeah, yeah. And then that's it. Like I think, like I like watching sports live. It's tight. Like I'll take me to a game of something. I love the atmosphere. That's like what you're really going for. Is the
Mhm.
I don't go to baseball to watch the Blue Jays at all.
Yeah.
Like I go to baseball to feel the tension in the stadium. Like that's the
The
fun
energy
part.
and
Is
the
like,
crowd and all that, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm like, does it matter what people do? Does it matter how the game goes? Absolutely not. I just want to be around the people, and I want to siphon their energy.
I just want to shout at referees and eat pretzels, man. I'm with you.
Gimme, let me have it. But no pretzels. Get me a hot dog, dude. We're going to hot dogs are nothing, baby.
We can't get
Hot dogs
both
rule. Nah, dude. It's or nothing.
or nothing. Hot dogs. If there's no hot dogs, I swear to God, I'm leaving.
And I'll starve if there's no hot dogs. I'll do it. You think I won't? You think I won't? Try me. Cue up that vine of the guy getting something thrown at him and being, "Try me, bitch."
Try me, bitch.
Do that one.
That's
That's
you in
me.
response.
That's me. I'm not even. Yeah, that's me, baby. I'm all me. Try me.
So when did you get your start? So you started in Montreal.
Yeah. To be honest, I'd have to look it up because I remember like retroactively cross-referencing to find out when the Habs were in double overtime and finding that date like 4 years in, being like, oh shit, I should probably know this.
Yeah.
And I know the date is like late April, like April 29th.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see. I might have it. It's either 2010 or 2011.
Okay. So yeah. So about 10 years then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long have you been doing comedy like as a career path? Like, because you said you were like a musician and then you kind of transferred into comedy. So when does comedy overtake musician for you?
Oh, it did right away.
Yeah.
It did right away. Like I did like 2 more shows that I had already signed up for in like back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I did 2 more of those shows where I played music, but then I started getting booked on other shows. Like that night, the way comedy works, like that night when I did my first show, I had 2 people who run like an open mic or like a booked show. They were like, "Hey, you're new. What's your deal?" And I'm like, "I don't know. This is my first time. I like it." And it's like, "Come to this place, sign up. I'll make sure you get priority.
Yeah.
Come meet some people. You'll get booked on other stuff. You're funny." You know what I mean? And I was one of those guys who like had heat at the beginning. It was like right off the bat. It was nice. But you're not the new guy forever. So,
Yeah.
But that said, it was nice. It was like it was cool to be like, okay, I'm here. I gotta leave before the subway closes so I can drive home from the like my stop. But
Yeah.
But thank you so much for telling me to come to Andrew's Pub on Guy Street.
Andrew's Pub.
Yeah, I wrote it on my hand. And
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was like 10 years ago, and just like that grind of being like, I show up, I do my thing. People are like, we want a piece, and then you give them a piece, and that's it.
Everyone wants a piece of Mike Carrozza.
Hey, that's what I originally back in the day, man. When I was planning an hour, I was like, everybody wants a piece is such a funny name for something like this.
Yeah, I love that.
And I had a picture of my friends like having their hands all over my face, like just like 5 hands on my face, and it's like dropping my face, and it's got my eye like this and like this, and I thought that was so funny, but it was like 7 years ago. Who am I kidding? My voice changed drastically that I couldn't pull off. There's no chance I could come up and be like, everybody wants a piece, and be like, that's me. That's my comedy now. It's not at all. Yeah.
So so you moved to Toronto, you said the Montreal like scene wasn't very like open to or wasn't very hot for English comics. So when did you make that decision? Because that's pretty much picking up your whole life, right? To go do comedy in Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, I moved there in 2017. The thing is, it was something I resisted for a long time because what I really wanted to do was move to the States, and then everything got harder and harder, and it didn't help that fucking Trump was elected in 2016 when I'm like looking at my, applications and thinking, well, they're not accepting this kind of visa right now, or, so to me, it's just kind of like, well, that wasn't great. That's not going to be fantastic. I might as well still make some move over to someplace and really get taken a little bit more seriously. So I just moved to Toronto and started doing shows, and people knew me already, right? So yeah.
Yeah. Did you had connections in Toronto when you moved already?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone wanted a piece of Mike Carrozza.
Well, it's not like I moved without having been a few times, right? Like and the other thing is you work with people on the road, you meet them, you're like, okay, these are people I know, or friends of yours moved from Montreal to Toronto, or,
Yeah.
You got to get the lay of the land, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's a business, baby.
So for why, I feel like why is a very nebulous question. So I try and boil it down. So for me, I find it very interesting when we're talking about comedy, and when comics talk about comedy, what is it about comedy that keeps you going? Like you said you wanted to be a musician, you wanted to be in bands, and then you did your first show, and then from there, boom, you were just hooked. So why comedy? What is it about it that sparks Mike Carrozza?
I mean, I've always liked it. Since I was a kid, there's something to the immediate validation and acceptance and a laugh, right? So that's something that I've always enjoyed and liked, and it's also I love a good laugh. If I laughing at something, I'm having a great time. I feel joy and happiness, and then I get to be that person to somebody else. I can give that to somebody. That's a pretty powerful thing, and it's also very cool, very nice thing to do. So I'm just a nice guy.
Mike Carrozza is just a nice guy with an album coming out.
I don't know. I like that it's positive. I like that it's nice. I like that it's something that I'm good at and good enough at that I've made a semblance of a career out of it. It's nice to be here and be like, well, I'm good at this thing, so let's party,
rock and roll.
Yeah.
So I want to get into what we're doing today, but first, can I ask a very personal question?
Oh, sure.
What's with Johnny Cash over your shoulder there, man?
That's a James Dean.
Oh.
So James Dean, it's a cardboard cutout from back when I ran a show here in Montreal called Mike Carrozza Knows Everybody, and it was a variety show. And I had a raffle that I was going to give out a bunch of prizes to, but then we just forgot this was one of the prizes because it was all folded up and shrink wrapped and stuff.
Yeah.
And I completely spaced and left it in my trunk and then forgot it here in Montreal at my parents' place. And then when I got back in quarantine, I was like, well, I'm going to be running a show in my basement for at least a month. So might as well get something in the background.
Get good old Jimmy Dean.
James Dean's got a lei around his neck because he just got back from Hawaii. He brought his own, though. He had that before.
Yeah, for sure.
I do that joke all the time.
I was just noticing you'd move your head a little bit, and I would just see him standing over you like a disapproving parent, just what stories
that's my
are you
entourage.
telling? That's my entourage. Yeah. You want to talk to Mike? You got to talk to James Dean first.
Hey, yeah, you got to say it like that. Otherwise, it doesn't carry any weight.
Yeah, there's no weight unless you make the hands and you say, "A." I get it.
How dare you? You don't. It's not called making the hands. It's called getting right with God. Hey.
Is that what that's called?
No, I don't know what that's called. I am no expert in my culture. I am barely alive as it stands as an Italian.
I've only ever
there's
called
no
it
way
making
that
the
I
hands.
making the hands, baby. Hey.
You make the hands.
That's what I'm doing.
That's
I'm
all.
making the hands.
I'm making the hands. Okay. So
making the hands.
Here on Let's Be Best Friends, for anyone who's new to the show, we always try and do something while we're talking, so we're going to get into our activity today. I always ask the guest what they would be the most comfortable with doing, and you chose Magic the Gathering. So
yeah, dude, I love it.
Can you tell me about why Magic the Gathering?
I love Magic the Gathering because it's a fun thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy the game a lot. I love the mechanics of it. I love the flavor. I play a particular format called EDH or Commander.
Mm-hmm.
It's one where it's a singleton deck, so every game is a bit different from the next. So you have 100 cards, and each of them has to be different, and they can only be selected from the same colors as your commander that you select to be the representative of your deck. So there's a bunch of things that I really, really like about it that I think is really like cool. And I don't know, man, like it's just a game that I played when I was a kid and got really into and then stopped playing and then came back to and then stopped playing. And now I've been back at it for like 5 years and I really, really enjoy it. It's become like, because when I started comedy, that was kind of my hobby. It was like something that I was like, well, I don't know how much of a career I can make out of this. And then a couple years in, I'm like, oh, I can try to make this a career. And then, you start getting paid for it and you start making a little bit more money than you're thinking that you'd ever make. And then you're like, well, I need a hobby. Like it can't all be. So I got back into Magic and honestly, it's been a lot of fun. Like I've got friends that I play with all the time and we, it's a social game. The community tends to be pretty nice unless you're on Facebook, in which case it's a bunch of fucking dicks. Just a real bunch of red caps, fucking morons. There's this whole controversy around an artist named Therese Nielsen that Wizards of the Coast has stopped commissioning art from.
Okay.
And because she's a TERF, dog. She's like,
oh, damn.
She's liking all these like transphobic shit online and, donating to places that support, trans exclusionary stuff. And you're like, well, that's somebody I don't want to support either. So I'm glad that they kicked her to the curb for her art. But
yeah, for sure.
People are like snatching up the cards with her art on it, being like, why would they get rid of such a talented artist? It's separate the art from the politics. I'm like, I don't care. I prefer that she doesn't like trans people because trans people, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, man, I fucking hate this community sometimes. Other times you show up to a game store and some kid is like, well, what's this? And you're like some dude's like, oh, have you played before? And I'm like, no. And this dude will like sit down with this person, like teach them the game. And
yeah,
you're like, well, you can borrow one of my decks. And they'll be like, here, give me your phone number. Hold on to my deck. Please don't change anything or trade anything, but I'm trusting you with it.
Yeah.
Meet back here. Like learn how to play it. And then, or like some people have decks to like full on give away to people who are new to the game. And I don't know, there's like a nice community aspect to it that I quite enjoy. And the game rules. So
the local scene I think is always my favorite part. Cause like when I started, like I'm playing Magic for like 10-ish years. And when I started, it was like me and a friend of mine went to a draft, which for anyone who doesn't know, we went to what's called a pre-release draft where the new set of cards is coming out. So you pay like X amount of money and they just give you a box of new booster packs to open. You open them, you make a deck, and then you just play a bunch of people in like a card store. And they're so much fun. I think they're a great way to get into the game because you don't really have to know what you're doing. You just kind of like throw cards together, grab lands, and go on.
You have to know the basics of how the game works, but other than that, you're solid. Like,
yeah,
it's a good time. And
after the draft, I remember the guy who ran the card store was like we were like 13 or something, and he was like, you guys have like cards, and we were like, no, not really. And he was like, cool, here's like Same thing. He was like, here's like a box of cards that like we're not really using. We're gonna probably just get rid of. Like, here you guys go. And we were like, oh.
Yeah, like Wizards of the Coast started making like welcome decks that they have of each color to give out to new players. So like, hey, have you ever played Magic? And they're like, no, but I heard about it. And you're like, well, do you have any cards? And like, no. And then, first taste is free. Here you go.
Yeah, literally. I was just about to say, it really is like, it's the most expensive, not drug related hobby.
Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah. And like, they don't retain the most value, but sometimes they do. Like this guy right here that I just got, that one rules. Like there's a Force of Will box topper non-foil. Like that guy's gonna hold up for a little bit. So I want to see how long I can squeeze some money out of that bad boy.
There you go.
Non-foil, almost less common than the foil, baby. Let's do it.
Someone is listening to this podcast who cares about Magic the Gathering, and they're just like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. Hell yeah. But yeah, man, like that's all. I like Commander, and you said that you play, so we figured let's have a game.
Let's have at it. I was honestly so excited. I went to my roommate immediately when you were like, "Hey, do you play Magic?" Because I was like, "Holy shit! I have achieved the goals of this podcast. I am gonna play Magic."
Hell yeah!
As part of my career, quote unquote.
Yeah. This is the work I have to do today.
Yeah, I have to go to work and play Magic with a comedian. What a fucking...
Yeah. Don't mind me, you loser. You're talking to your roommate like a dick about it.
Yeah, exactly. He's all working from home and he's like, oh, don't mind me. I'm going to just go play Magic.
Cole, I'm on a fucking call.
I'm on a Zoom. Oh my God. Have you, so you said, you said you're living with your parents right now with the quarantine going on?
Yeah, at the moment. Yeah, I'm hoping to be back early to mid-September and be back at work, but we'll see.
Okay. My roommate's been working from home since the pandemic, and I'm in my room a lot doing like streaming and podcasting and all that.
Shenanigans. Call it what it is.
And so like very often, if I'm doing work in my room, I like don't put on a shirt. I look like an animal. There's like just coffee mugs all over my room right now, and like. So I won't know when he's in a Zoom meeting, and then I'll just come into the living room to like grab more coffee, like no pants, no shirt, and just be like, "Sup?" And then I see the camera on, I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like,
yeah, dude.
It's becoming
dick swinging in the wind,
dick schwanging,
just flopping around. Your roommate's like, "Dude, sick."
Alrighty, let's get in. I think it's making you go first, which is totally fine if you'd like to take the
Look,
first.
man, I will take it. I'll go first. I'll play an Urborg. I don't know how to tap anything. Let me see.
I think if you right click it.
Right click, huh? No, there's no.
If you hover over it, there's like options. Shake.
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer though. Anyway, I'm going to play Blood Chief Ascension, turn 1. Go ahead.
Each land has a swamp addition to its other types. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so all your lands are going to be swamps.
Okay. I feel like I'm already very scared of this deck. All right, so let me.
Yeah,
draw.
well, so we're playing 1 against 1, right? So we were talking about this earlier, which is like 1v1 is a very different beast than
multiplayer.
Yeah, because you're like. You care about other people. Maybe you have a little bit more time to set up. There's more people to pay attention to. 1 against 1, you know where your opponent's resources are going to go, for sure. Right?
Yeah.
So like, so you have to go full throttle, and that's why I chose this deck. I thought it was, it's Tiny Bones. So Tiny Bones is Tiny Bones Trinket Thief is let me just put this full screen. I'm not going to bother with having the camera on because. I'm gonna need to see the game. So Tiny Bones is a 1/2 skeleton rogue legendary creature. At the beginning of each end step, if an opponent discarded a card this turn, you draw a card and lose a life. And then it has an activated ability of 4 black. Each opponent with no cards in hand loses 10 life. Now you're playing a red deck notably usually very aggressive, not really known for card draw, you're going to have an empty hand quite often. And you're also going to have an empty hand quite often because I'm playing a discard deck.
I was going to say,
I'm gonna
is
make
this like a
discard.
Millie discardy deck?
Oh, big time discardy deck.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
the card that I played on my first turn, Blood Chief Ascension, says that whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, if it has 3 or more quest counters on it, I may have that player lose 2 life and I'll gain 2 life. And if you lose 2 or more life at the beginning of each end step, I can put a quest counter on it. So there's a very good chance that I'll have this guy up and running soon. So I'm going to take my turn then?
Yeah, go right ahead. It's like I said when we were setting up, this deck that I have, win or lose by turn 5. It's a weird EDH deck because it's just like, I am just trying to get fucking goblins on the board, man, and then go forward.
I mean, that's pretty standard, man. This is what Krenko's known for.
I love mono red.
You're playing the guy that doubles all your friggin' goblins.
Yeah.
That's my turn. I just played Tiny Bones.
Got it. 1, 2, cool. Okay, so I'm gonna untap. Hopefully this translates to the audio podcast as good as it does, because I think it can.
Are you sharing the screen with the video? Or
yeah.
Like, are they seeing this? Okay, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I am a professional. I'm a media professional.
Yeah, baby.
So I'm gonna tap my lands here, and I'm gonna put down Lightning Greaves. And just for kicks and shiggles, I'm gonna throw it on my Spike Shot Elder.
Okay.
So it gives him Shroud and Haste. So if I remember correctly, Shroud is the thing that's hexproof, but I can still cast it on him.
No, that's hexproof. So Shroud means it can't be targeted at all.
At all.
Hexproof means it can't be targeted by opponents.
That's what I thought. Okay. I always get those two confused. And then I don't want to attack because you have enough to block. So I am going to pass the turn. It is your turn, my good man.
Sweet. I will draw for turn. I'm going to play a Commander Sphere, which is a 3-mana artifact that taps for mana. So it's a...
Oh, yeah.
Solid rock.
Beautiful.
And I'm going to swing at you and hit you for 1 commander damage unless you choose to block it.
No!
This isn't a deck that's going to win by commander damage, I'll tell you what. So. All right, go ahead.
Beautiful. Okay. So let's draw into something good here, boys. I'm in streamer mode. I'm like, okay, guys. Talk to me a little bit about your stream, because you stream on Friday nights. You do the Mike Carrozza show, right?
Yeah, it's called Catching Up with Carrozza. It Friday nights at 9 Eastern is what I've been running. It's been a while now, and like it's been fun. It's been nice to chat with my friends, but it isn't something that I'm seeing a lot of reward for.
Okay.
You know, like I'm not experiencing enough for me to think like, oh, this is a great idea to keep doing it for a long, long time. It was just kind of something that I was like, if I do this for a month and a half, because I was so optimistic and naive, then I'll be able to, just do these other things. You know, that's it. But no, that's not how it goes, man. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I like doing it, but I also wish more people watched, and also. I wish less people watched. I don't know what I'm doing with it now, because I'm debating whether or not I'm going to change the format up.
Yeah.
Because right now I have like 4 guests on, and I have them chat with me, and we're pals. It's very nice to be pals with people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? And that just reminds me, I'm going to have to post this up now.
Your turn. I played a 1,000-year elixir.
Okay, Mr. likes activated abilities.
Mr. likes activated abilities. Who would have guessed the Goblin deck enjoys his activated abilities?
Yeah, the Gabo Slago.
Yeah. So was that a show that you were running before?
Somewhat.
Before quarantine started, somewhat.
Yeah, it wasn't a show that I was doing. It wasn't. Like it's a show that I was doing where like Figure It Out was my show that's a live show that I'm on stage the entire time to riff with the performers I have on. So it's like a stand-up show where I invite the comics I've booked to perform, and they come on, and I'm on stage with them, and they can choose to do either stand-up or I chat with them or we interview, like that kind of thing. So but yeah, like that's kind of how we went with it. Like it's been fun. I like it, but it's not the same vibe as like, because with Figure It Out, you're playing off an audience. You can hear them, you can see them. With Figure It Out, you're two people interacting in a way that's, not like a, oh my God, it's been so long since I've seen you, and like, just catch me up. How are you? Let's have an earnest conversation. Figure It Out is like, they're going to start a bit, and then I'm going to interrupt, and we're going to riff on that bit, and then we're going to move on to another bit and finish that bit. And like the Catching Up with Carrozza is just like a, well, let's talk about life then.
Yeah.
We'll be funny because we're funny, but that's it.
So Figure It Out is more, it's more, I guess, like a structured comedy show, whereas Keeping Up With is more just like a very casual, almost like what we're doing now, just like a very cash conversation
very
sort
chill
of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
It's hard, man. Streaming is one of those things that's entirely unforgiving.
Yeah, man.
You got to do it because you love it.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
It's true.
Yeah. So I mean, what are you gonna do, man? I'm not like I'm not losing my mind here. I'm ready to get back to normal, but what's normal anymore? And we'll find out.
It's
hopefully. True. I played a Rankle Master of Pranks.
Yes.
So Rankle Prankle. He's a flying hasty 3/3 that whenever he deals damage to a player, I can choose any number. So each player discards a card, each player loses 1 life and draws a card, each player sacrifices a creature, and I can choose any of those. So I'm going to go to combat, and I'm going to swing at you with both my creatures, with Rankle and Tiny Bones.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay, I'm gonna take 4, and then I'm gonna assume that you're gonna make me discard a card.
I'm gonna do a couple of things.
Oh, it's choose any number. That's a good ass card. Damn.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make us both draw a card and discard a card. So we discard first.
Okay. So I'm gonna discard this guy. Discard.
Okay. I've discarded Dream Stealer.
I have discarded Skirk Fire Marshal.
And draw your card and lose a life.
Draw a card and lose a life. Done.
Yeah. And then that is my turn, and at the end of the turn I get a
quest
counter on Blood Chief Ascension.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to... Is there like an untap all button?
X.
It's fine. I'll just do it manually. It's fine. Okay. So I'll untap. I'll put my Montaigne down.
I think it might only work when...
Oh, it's because we weren't actually using the turn counter like normal human beings. That makes sense.
I don't know that's it. Maybe. Who knows?
So I'm going to pay 1 for Soul Ring, literally the greatest invention in Commander history. And then
the big bad.
I am gonna bring my boy
out
here. I'm going to move Lightning Greaves on him. And start making some fucking
2 goblins.
Where are my goblins? There we go.
2 gobos.
We got our goblins here.
Here come the gobbo.
And then I'm going to use my last mana to tap my 1,000-year elixir to untap Krenko to do it again. So
you're gonna
2,
get
3, 4. So I get another 4.
6.
So I have 6 total.
Yes, sir.
Damn. Now we're really becoming. I'm just gonna put 6 in the notes. Done.
You can.
Can I make it like a
clone of them?
Beautiful.
You can clone them. Like make 6 of them.
Oh, can I?
Yeah, I think clone is K.
Clone. Oh, there we
So
go.
if you hover and you make 6, yeah. So that'll be my turn.
6. Yes, it is your turn. Let me pass it. Boom. God, I feel like a professional Magic the Gathering podcast. I don't know if those exist. I don't know if there are podcasts where
They
people
do.
just play Magic. Really?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, that sounds
Oh, yeah,
sick.
they do.
I feel like I don't have enough game knowledge. I'm the kind of person who, like, I take so long in between playing Magic that, like, someone will play a card and I'm the guy who goes like, oh, can I just... Sorry.
That's all right, man.
Oh,
You
okay,
got to
cool.
do what you got to do, baby. So I'm going to play a Burglar Rat, which makes you discard a card.
Okay. Who needs land?
Oh, I mean, oh boy.
I've got 4, and that's literally as much as this deck needs. I've got 4 and a mana rock. That's all I need.
So I'm going to tap Nykthos, which makes 5 for
Okay.
me, and I'm going to make a Eternalized copy, a Dream Stealer. So Dream Stealer is going to be Eternalized from my graveyard, which makes him...
Okay, cool. Damn.
So he's going to be a 4/4. I'm just going to put 4 instead.
Yep.
And moving to combat, I'm going to swing at you in the air with Rankle.
Okay.
And we're going to do the same thing. It's going to be discard and then we're going to draw a card.
Okay. Discard, draw a card, and then I take
And
one
then-
more.
Yes,
Yeah.
one more.
Cool.
And then I'm going to move forward with my friggy end step where I draw another card. And that's your turn.
Beautiful. So I'm gonna untap all of my ish. Bing, boom, 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 boom. So do you play any other card games, or are you a Magic diehard?
Just Magic, man.
Yeah.
It's my favorite game, so I prefer it by a mile.
I am going to 1, 2, 5 for Vanquisher's Banner. Choose
Nice.
creature type. Of course, I'm going to choose Pirate.
Okay, you've made that decision. You can't take it.
No takesies, backsies. So
Oh,
all of my
boy,
goblins
what
are
a
going to get
useless
+1/+1,
card.
and every time I cast a goblin, I draw a card. So fuck you with your card destroying bullshit.
I mean, that's fine. That's cool.
It's not even any fun to talk shit. You're just like, yeah. Man, that's fine.
I mean, I would rather you hate on the discard too. Like,
And I'm going to activate Krenko. I'm going to get 6, 7, 8 more Tolkien's. Tolkien's.
8, but they can't attack. They ain't
Yes,
hasty.
I'm gonna put them in this. So, 1. Okay, there were
Yeah,
2.
I think it might be useful to do like the tapped and untapped, or like.
Oh no, it's gonna take forever. Oh, there you go. 1, 2, 3. What do I got here? 5,
There's a lot of them.
6, 7, 8, and then we're gonna do it again. Na 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 na. 8 plus 6 is 14, 15, 16. Yeah, I'm just gonna go like this. Gonna make a copy of that guy, and I'm gonna put him here. I'm gonna put him over here, and I'm gonna write the word 16 on him.
Yeah.
This is what I do in real life when I play this
you're
deck.
Tapping him.
Is I
Yeah, you have one token for tapped and another token for untapped, and you have a dice on.
and I just throw a bunch of dice
A
on
die.
it, for sure. That's me as a human. Okay,
Yeah,
sick.
so you have 16. So those other ones are gonna disappear then.
So I've got because I activated
You have
Krenko
6
twice.
that can attack.
Yeah, there's 6 that can attack. This little pile of 6 here can attack.
have another
The
8 and then-
24 that are sitting here cannot attack.
Yeah.
So can I like get rid of all of these? Oh, I can. Sick. Can I, there we go. There we go. And then this guy's gonna go up to 24. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am gonna swing with these goblins. So there's 6. And they're all 2/2s.
Okay, I'm going to block one of them with my Dream Stealer.
Okay.
And I'm going to take 10.
Okay, cool. So one of these is going to die. Adios. You worked hard. The rest of these guys are just going to stay tapped.
And is that turn for you?
That is turn for me, sir.
Alrighty, so I'm going to play a land. There we go.
It's a close game, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, it does not feel close at all. I'm going to go to combat.
Okay.
I think. No, wait, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't.
You shan't. You can't and you shan't.
Okay, so... Yeah, no, I'm going to have to just go to combat, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to swing the Dream Stealer.
Okay.
I'm going to swing Rankle.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to go with.
Cool. So I'm gonna block.
I'm gonna swing Tiny Bones too, I think. Fuck,
Okay.
You know what? Swing with everything. I'm gonna swing with all of it.
So then I'm gonna block 3. So let me just get 3 of these guys here. Oops, it's too many. Let me get rid of this guy. Okay, so I'm gonna block the Dream Stealer. I'm gonna block Tiny Bones, and I'm gonna block the Rat. And I can't block against Rankle. Are you doing any whack shit because you have all this open mana?
Not right now, no.
Okay. Cool.
So each player discards a card.
Done.
Good. That, and I don't think I'm gonna bother with the draw card. No, let's draw a card.
Okay. And lose a life, right?
I'll lose a life, yeah. And that means bye-bye, bye-bye, and this one's exiled.
Scar.
Dream Stealer's exiled.
Wait, is Dream Stealer, because he's 4/4, isn't he? So he's still alive, isn't it?
Well, you have to block him with 2, because he's got Menace.
Oh, okay. Cool. I did not see the Menace, so I will go down. Perfect.
Okay.
Yep.
And then after combat, I'm going to pay 1, 2, 3. That's not, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Living Death.
Okay.
So remove all the creature cards from your graveyard from the game, and then so basically what you're doing is you're putting the creatures in your graveyard onto the battlefield and then sacrificing your creatures.
Got it. All my tokens. No. No. That's so sad. Oh, Lightning Greaves doesn't go away. And Krenko goes into... Oh, so see, you're so fucking smart. You're over here with putting your commander in your graveyard so you can do the whole the Razzmatazz. Look at you being smart. God damn it.
Being Razzmatazzy, baby.
Okay. So this mountain stays in there. Let me just double check that I don't have any shit going on here with these guys. Jesus Christ. Okay. When he attacks, no. And as this comes into play, sacrifice any number of creatures. So does that... It's not coming into play because it's coming from the graveyard.
It is.
Is it? Oh, okay,
it
okay,
is.
okay.
But you have to... for it to have that ability
You'd have to
really do
stuff.
anything, you have to sacrifice goblins. And I don't know if you want to sacrifice
No, I'm not
these
gonna do
two.
that. No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I just was making a shia. Making shia. Oh, damn. Look at this boy. Look at this... Man, I love the art of Magic the Gathering. It's so fucking pretty.
Oh, yeah. So that's going to be my end step,
Okay.
and I'm going to lose a life and draw a card. And
Perfect.
that's going to be a pass turn.
Okay. So let me draw my card here. God damn it. It's a mountain. Get all this going on here. Okay. What do I want to do? I want to ask you the question while I'm thinking of my turn because this is an interview podcast. So as we're talking here on Let's Be Best Friends, I like to use common conversation starters to see how well they actually work. This one is from our unofficial sponsor, ConversationStartersWorld.com, and it's what outfit could you put together from the clothes you own to get the most laughs?
An outfit to get the most laughs?
Yeah. Like if you were trying to make a funny outfit, what would you do?
First of all, shirtless. That's the number one. Shirtless, grab a Sharpie, draw a tie onto my belly.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, draw a Sharpie tie on your chest. And that's the rule. That's the number one. Mm-hmm. Then rip off sleeves from a long sleeve shirt and just wear the sleeves.
Right. Just the sleeves. No shirt.
I don't know that
sleeves.
this is gonna be funnier if it's just like gonna scare people. So look, man, your unofficial sponsor not providing the best questions, are they? I don't think that this is a great question, but I'll say shirtless with a Sharpie tie is what I'm saying with confidence.
So then what? So then what if I hit you with what's your go-to conversation starter?
Oh, my go-to conversation starter is y'all like farts?
It's actually.
And most of the time people are like, yeah, depends though. You get it? Like, so like, you know.
I get it.
Oh, get what?
Depends? Like
oh, no, I wasn't doing any of that.
Oh,
no,
damn.
I was just saying, like, it depends on the situation, whether or not they'll like farts, dude. I don't know, man. I just feel like I don't have, like, a go-to conversation starter. I think a go-to conversation starter doesn't feel like I have, like, any idea how to chat. You know what I mean? Like, I talk to people because, like, that's surroundings, you know? Like, you figure out context, you talk to somebody, but...
So you're very like an in the moment kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. 4, 8. So this goes up to 12. Okay. So I've got Cranko back. I've got my Goblin boys back.
I was busy waiting for you to resolve your triggers, and you were asking me some questions, but you have to discard a card. So when at the end of my turn, you still have to discard a card.
Oh, because of Trinket
Burglar
Thief.
Rat.
Yes.
No.
Oops. Oh, because he came back on the field.
Yeah. They're all on the field.
Banana. There we go. Okay. Okay, so it doesn't change anything. Pour moi. What's up?
No, you still got your hasty goblins.
When I play Cranko, does that trigger my Vanquisher's banner?
Yeah.
Sweet. So I get to draw a card.
But you have the win on the table.
Do I? Do I just have... Well, because these don't have haste.
Well, they don't need to have haste.
I have the win on the table. You have 24 health. I have...
All you need is 15 goblins and you win.
But you can just block, no? Oh, but wait, what? Am I this bad?
Skirk Fire Marshal.
Oh,
you tap 5 untap goblins. And he has protection from red, so it doesn't get destroyed or anything, but you tap them all in response to each other. You have how many goblins?
I have 12, 13, 14, 15. So I can just do that 3 times, which would be 10,
and
20,
you
30.
win.
Oh, can I just trigger that 3 times?
Yeah.
Oh. GG.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
Shit. I didn't know you could trigger that 3 times. I thought it would be like you trigger it, resolve it, trigger it, resolve it, trigger, resolve.
No. It's a stack system. Yeah.
Oh, well, hell
Put it all on the stack, and then they resolve.
Sweet. Well, it was all rigged from the start. The host wins.
Yeah, buddy.
Who would have
That's
guessed?
what you get when you play Cranko. Known too fast for his own good commander.
That's why I like him. I'll be honest. I don't think too hard. I just kind of let him do his thing.
Yeah, pretty linear strategy. It's,
it's
make
great.
goblins.
It's you make as many goblins as you humanly possibly can.
Yeah.
It's great. It's my favorite thing.
Oh yeah.
Okay. That was a lot of fun. I do want to continue playing Magic because I always forget when I start playing Magic that all I want to do is play more Magic. Mm-hmm. But we are running a show. So I want to get to our social media question. How much time were we at? We've been talking for like an hour? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I want to get to our social media question. What advice would you give yourself if you could send a message back to yourself from this time last year, but you cannot specifically mention the pandemic? I found this question very interesting because it's very it's very similar to questions that we've asked before of like if you could talk to a past version of yourself, whatever. But I thought the idea of it from exactly a year ago without being able to mention the pandemic.
Without mentioning the pandemic?
What would you tell a year ago, Mike Carrozza?
Well, that doesn't tell me I can't be vague and reference it.
You could use the genie rule. That's true.
So I'd say it's gonna be longer than you think.
You'll get it when you get there. Just know it's
pack more than whatever you're thinking of packing. Pack more. It's gonna be longer than you think.
Oh man. Okay.
But then I'm gonna show up to a comedy festival I'm looking forward to. Because like around this time last year, I was stoked because I was gonna do High Plains Comedy Festival in Denver in September. Mm-hmm. So like I'd overpack for that one and stay longer than I thought.
Yeah, and hey man, you never know. That advice could change your entire life. Maybe you stay longer. Mm-hmm. You meet the love of your life. You're Denver comedian Mike Carrozza.
And I'm in Denver, so I catch coronavirus and I die in the arms of my lover.
All because future Mike sent you a letter to stay in Denver.
Yeah, that's it. It's all monkey's paw.
Yeah, I was going to say it's very genie's rule monkey paw. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're winding down. We've had a great conversation. I want to thank you so much for being here with me. We're getting to the end of the show, and it's time for my favorite part of running the show. It's called the lightning round.
Oh, okay.
We call it the lightning round because I'm going to put 1 minute on a timer, and I'm going to ask you as many this or that questions as we can. Mm-hmm. In that time, I'm going to compare your answers to the answers I have pre-prepared, and we're going to see how close we are to being best friends.
Okay.
So,
how many questions are there? Because I want to know if we're gonna.
I'll be honest. There's 89 questions.
Okay. It is more than a question a second.
Possible to get through all of them, which I did plan for. I'll tell you, the record I think is 14. That's the record. Okay. No competition. There's no competition on Let's Be Best Friends. Okay. And is it? Are you going to be giving me options of like 1 and 2? Yeah. And then I can just say 1 or 2? Yep.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to be like X, Y, X, Y, X, Y, and just whatever comes to your head first. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Mike, if you are ready to go, I am ready to go.
Okay, hold on. Let me put both headphones in.
Okay.
Okay, go.
Okay.
And I'm going to close my eyes for it.
3, 2, 1. Cookies or cake?
Cookies.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Computer games or console games?
Console games.
Pop music or rock music?
Pop music.
Stuffed animals or dolls?
Stuffed animals.
Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles.
Hot chocolate or coffee?
Hot chocolate.
Morning or evening?
Evening.
Text message or call?
Call.
Libraries or museums?
Museums.
French or Spanish?
Spanish.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Theater or cinema?
Cinema.
Love or money?
Love.
Books or movies?
Movies.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla.
Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Rain or snow?
God, fuck you. Rain.
I think that's a new record. Holy crap. Closing your eyes really worked. All right, Mike, I am going to tally the score up. While I do, I want you to tell me all about your new album coming out in September. It's called
Cherubic.
Cherubic.
So I'm a baby cherub, and my album's called Cherubic. Mike Carrozza, at Mike Carrozza, MikeCarrozza. And I've got an album coming September 4th. I'm really proud of it. It's going to be on iTunes and Spotify and Apple Music and all the other stuff that you can use to listen to it. I'm excited for it. It's I'm a weird flavor of comedy, but I think it's pretty fun. I can read off the track listing if you want. Like, I don't know if that'll,
what's your favorite bit off the album? Without giving
That's
too much
a tough
away.
one.
Without giving too much away.
That's a tough one. I think my favorite track off the album might be "Tell Your Parents You Love Them."
Okay.
But I think it's tough to say that I know which bit is the strongest on the album, because there's a couple hitters. Like it's a it's a solid hour.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, this is here. I'll do the track listing. Listen to this. Get a load of this.
Get a load of this guy.
Track number 1, speak right into the microphone. You'll do fine.
Ooh.
Track 2, do that expressions chunk people seem to like. Track 3, Mike, yeah. Track 4, okay, now do the smooching chefs. Track 5, aren't you Italian? I think Drake's Italian too, right? Number 6, you gotta do warm-ups, bud. Number 7, you want to tell them about the Saw franchise? Number 8, okay, now's your chance. Late night bookers are listening. Track 9, show them all your impressions. You're the king of the long walk. Track 10, Montreal, je t'aime. Track 11, let them know you know what sex is. You are champion, baby. Track 12, this is my shortest joke, perspective. Track 13, tell your parents you love them. Track 14, do that dumb bear impression. It's cute. They'll love it. Track 15, please publish my gum. Track 16, bonus track, gunshot, air horn, Nona's famous recipe. And that's the track listing.
That is the best track list of any album ever.
Oh, I don't know, man.
That is fantastic.
Have you seen Max Silvestri's King Piglet?
No.
That track listing is wild.
Oh,
let me see if I
man.
can find it for you. Because this track listing is one of my favorites. It's so dumb that this is a real thing that he put out as the track listing.
I love looking at the track list of comedy albums.
Me too.
It is an underappreciated art.
Because sometimes it's like good and like normal.
Yeah.
Other times it's a bit. Like Kyle Kinane used to do like Cheap Trick songs and Kiss songs and NWA songs, and then he just started doing ingredients.
Ingredients.
Yeah, on Loose in Chicago,
onions.
It's like beef, onions, mustard. Yeah, Max Silvestri is, hello, dear. How are you doing today? Hope everything is cool. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Lisa. I'm modeling in Hugo Boss from USA. I am female, am single, but am looking for nice and caring and honest and trustful guy who I can share my life with him. So I look into your profile. What I saw there really with 3 L's make me feel good. My hobbies is dancing, singing, and making good joke with friends. I like to have fun, smiling, traveling, and sports. Your profile is very interested, and I bet getting to know you will be very interesting also. Okay. P.S. Glenn Rice has a penis like a Red Bull can.
I love that it's
And
just
so-
like someone's Tinder profile.
He told me it was a like a spam bot's message to him on Instagram or something back in the day.
That's so funny, and he made that his track listing.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Oh my god. Okay.
The downside is if I want to show somebody a song off it, a track off it, like a specific bit, I have to like just try to find it.
You have to remember which bit is under which title.
Yeah.
Mike, it's been an absolute pleasure. We played one of your favorite card games and mine, Magic the Gathering. I think we had a great time. I won, which makes me feel a lot more positive about the experience.
Fantastic.
We did the lightning round, and I want to tell you, you did achieve the high score. You got 18. You got through 18 questions. You got through questions
18.
that this show has never even seen before. I didn't even know chocolate and vanilla was on the list. I'll keep it a buck with you. I had no idea.
No way. Well, so, I mean, how do we do?
You, my good man, Mike Carrozza, got a grand total of 9 out of 18, which is a passing grade.
Hey, man, look, I'll say this. I was a 60% or above guy. Never been a 50. So I guess we're mortal enemies instead.
Hey, at the end of the day, it proves what I think the show is really out here to prove, that at the end of the day, even if you don't have that as much in common with someone as you might think, and even if, you don't share the same interest necessarily, there's always probably one thing that you can share with somebody you can have a good time doing and have a good conversation with. So, Mike, I want to thank you so much for becoming my new best friend. I want you to take this time to plug your social media, let the people out there know where they can find you, what you're up to, and what they can do to keep in touch with you.
At Mike Carrozza, MikeCarrozza, and twitch.tv/Mike Carrozza 91. That's where you can find me. My platforms are mainly Instagram and Twitter, and I guess Twitch. But my website, MikeCarrozza.com. You can go to blondemedicine.com to check out the album info when that comes out. There should be a pre-order going around before. Mm-hmm. And honestly, if you are buying the album, like buying it like to own, do it through Blonde Medicine.
Okay.
It makes sure that we get money without having to go through any third party sales that it just ensures that like somebody's not making money off of my work that isn't in on it already. So that said, though, if you stream it on Spotify or Apple Music, I appreciate it. Please get me to iTunes #1. I will never live it down as the only comedian to not reach #1 on iTunes and Canadian comedy charts. So please don't make me the one guy who doesn't hit it.
You heard it here first, folks. The people in the audience, you have a duty, a mission. Just play it in the background. Go to your local Staples and just on every single computer and speaker, just play our beautiful boy Mike Carrozza's album Cherubic, which comes out what day?
September 4th.
Beautiful. And the website for it's you said it was Blonde Media Records?
Blonde Medicine.
Blonde Medicine Records. Go to the website, go pre-order it, support our lovely Cherubic boy. I want to thank you so much for becoming my new best friend. I want to thank all of my best friends out there listening at home, however you listen, on YouTube. We're on Spotify now. I just got an email yesterday saying we're on Pocket Pod, whatever the fuck that is, so go check that out, I guess. I want to thank you all for listening at home. If you have a question you want to get on the show, you can always tweet, Instagram, Facebook, everything. I'm at OldKingCake. I also take suggestions from my Twitch chat. If you want to check that out, it's also at OldKingCake. I stream pretty much every day and every night when I'm not doing the podcast, so go check that out. Go check out Mike Carrozza, at Mike Carrozza on all the social media. This lucky son of a bitch gets to just have his name on all of the social medias. And check out his Twitch shows on Friday. They're really, really funny. Go buy his album. I want to give a special shout out to one of our best friends, Isabel Wing, for the intro to our show, Let's Be Best Friends, and Seth Feldman for the outro. That's all the time we have for today. So remember that your mom was your best friend at one point, so give her a call, and we'll see you guys next week.